Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Liam Xavier and you join us at the Communify Intelligence Experience. With me right now is Abbe Galvez Cordon, the Managing Director, Wealth and WealthTech Investment Banking at TD Securities. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you finding the event so far?
I find it amazing. I've known this team for a really long time and they always astound me, so a lot of fun.
And if we look at the wealth management industry at the moment, is there anything that you think is perhaps underestimated and, on the other hand, overhyped?
I think in terms of underestimated, just the speed that the actual economics of the wealth management industry is going to change is just completely underestimated. I think people talk about the speed of technology, people talk about the speed of change, but what's really changing is the speed of the underlying economic change. So wealth managers will fundamentally have a different P&L in the future. So they, right now, the way they build their value is through recruiting and retaining their advisors, recruiting and retaining their clients, and what they're going to end up in a situation is where they won't be able to compete from a margins perspective with businesses who simply have better operating systems, and that's where the technology comes in. When you think about how quickly AI and a digital workforce is going to come in, the businesses who adopt that and the businesses who are already adopting that now truly are going to be in the future just in a totally different situation. They're going to be competing for talent with businesses that have worse margins and worse technology and worse ability to keep all of those people and clients, and it will play out itself. And so I think when people think about making decisions and thinking through the different technology options and all of that, and they think about it as a technology problem, it's really sort of missing the bigger economic shift that's going to happen. And I think we see it happening, frankly, already.
And even for the most intelligent person in the world, it can be overwhelming. So for those that need an advisor, that have conversations, if we imagine that you're advising a CEO of a wealth company, what would you be suggesting for the next 12 months when it comes to technology?
So I think it's such an interesting question, and I probably would change the question slightly to be not what should they be thinking about technology, but really what should they be thinking about their business. I think it has become intertwined. Like, we used to talk to CEOs and spend time advising them, and they would often bring in their technology people to talk about technology, and it's where the CEO should be spending their time, and frankly should be thinking of it as how do they want the operating model of their business to function in the future. And I think when we advise the CEOs of wealth firms, we're talking to them directly about the technology decisions that they're making. Over the past year, I would say starting beginning of last summer, a lot of the CEOs of different wealth firms were saying, we know we're a little bit behind on AI adoption, but we have great tech partners and they're going to take us into the future. And even 3 months later, by the end of the summer, they were saying, remember how we were talking about that? Who can you actually introduce me to? Who can I talk to that is developing AI? And then by the end of the year, 3 months after that, they were, if they didn't have something in production already, that they were finding that the tech companies were moving on. Like, if they couldn't make their own decisions fast enough, tech companies were being slowed down by them. And so I think you see all sorts of different AI companies now. They're putting out new product, and they're able to take the firms that are working with them on that journey in pretty rapidly, like every month, 2 months, 3 months, every quarter. It's really rapidly changing. And so if take a step back and say to the CEO, what should you be prioritizing over the next 12 months, I would say get on new technology as soon as possible so you can be brought along in that journey.
And I think you pretty much answered it there already, but if we look at perhaps those people who are almost waiting it out to see if it's an actual change, are we witnessing this monumental change, or is it just another peak in activity?
I think it's a fundamental, monumental shift in how business will run in wealth management. I think you don't have all these forces shifting at the same time all the time, and right now it's the technology shifting, the business model shifting, the talent coming into the industry is shifting. When all of those things are shifting, it's like an operating model change. The operating leverage of the business is going to change, and so just think that it truly is not an incremental thing that we're talking about here. I think that there's going to be some winners through all of this, and that's not going to be a list of 20 players. It's going to be a handful of businesses that not only adopt the new technology, but they're fundamentally thinking about, how do I run my business differently? How do I operate a business that's a mixture of people giving great personalized advice with great tools, and a mixture probably of a digital workforce that will also be employed there and also fundamentally doing a lot of the work that's done today. And so you'll see people will be working differently, the businesses will work differently. Hopefully that means for the industry that more people are getting more personalized advice at scale, and so ultimately those few businesses who are able to not only quickly sort of develop all of the technology as quickly as possible, but the ones who can bring along the industry with them and bring along distribution and help convert incumbent technology are the ones that are ultimately going to win.
Really, really fascinating to speak to you. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.